o'clock already.
About that. So, we will come to our topics. Any of you have done the exercises?
No lah. Oh, yeah lah. No time to look at myself. What is the thing that I like and I don't like about myself now?
It's interesting. So if we would take
So
a little bit of time, after this, maybe you can do the exercises, and it would be interesting to find what we see, how we see ourselves. I just like to do a simple exercise with all, and maybe some of you also seen it before in this way. Okay, maybe I should stop first and you will see I have in front of me. What do you see?
One dot.
One dot. Any other thoughts? 其他人还有想法吗？ What do you?
白纸哦。
白纸。
白色。
白色。
这样白。
啊？
黑点哦。黑点哦。
Okay.
A beginning to draw something.
A beginning to draw something. Yeah. What else?
中心。
中心. Okay. In the center. In the middle point. So when we have a paper like this, and I put a dot in the middle, so many people will see the black dot. 很多人会看到这个点，这张纸上有一个点。And likely, even for a child, if they see this paper, they would not want to use this because they think this is already used. It is already something's there. So sometimes for us, we also see our weaknesses sometimes enlarged. That's why when we take a paper like this, or sometimes where you begin to draw something, you put a dot there and then you start to judge, is this the right start? 这个是这样子画好像好像错又好像对，这样子开始有点担心。You start to think about, is this right or not? Or maybe I want to change to another piece where it is total blank. So when it's interesting that yesterday we bring the topics of how do you want to celebrate Mother's Day, and then we bring to you the fact that are you able to spend Mother's Day just be with yourself, just be with yourself, and not having to go out in the restaurant, not with a lot of people, just a quiet time with yourself. Are you able to do that? And what would be the idea of you spend a more quiet Mother's Day? I understand that we also are the main chef for the household, and then to celebrate also means that I have to do extra work in preparing. So how does it mean? What's the meaning of celebrating if I have to do extra work? Right? It doesn't make sense, right? So Angela mentions, don't cook, throw away your wok chan. Agree
In my
also.
dreams, maybe I can. I got two mothers in the house, okay?
Yeah.
They all have to serve first.
Challenging. You have elders in your household. You have to then celebrate for them.
Yeah.
But Angela and Christy also bring out a point that to say, so many years, sometimes I forget about myself. I forget about I'm also a mother too. I celebrate for others, but I didn't really have the conscious thought of celebrating for myself. But this year, I want you to be a little bit different, where you think a little bit of yourself. We had been in this movement control for 40 days. Huh? What, lost count? So long already, I don't know. Although it's going to release soon, but we see that may not be so safe to go out immediately. So we still would stay at home for some time. And Mother's Day is around the corner. And we shared the interesting research yesterday about the experiments that they did where with the electric shocks. And the painful experience was a big drawback for many of the participants who participate in the experiments. And later on, they were invited，这一群人呢就被邀请做下一个的那个实验。All they need to do is be in they were put into a room, an empty room, with no one with them, no devices and no TVs and no nothings, where they were to put it in the room for 15 minutes. And in that empty room, nothing were there. So the participants each time admitted one person, they can choose to do two things. One is just simply be quiet with themselves, be with the presence of themselves. And second one, right in the middle of the room, there were the electric shocks. So the finding of the experiments, they were so surprised to find out that 1/4 1/4 of the participants, women, they will use the electric shock and shot themselves. And 2/3, 2/3是男性啊, then they will electric shock themselves. So they were feeling strange. 不是说这个经验是很可怕的吗？那为什么现在你们还要把这个电击电自己？而且是自己电自己哦。那 does it means that you are in fear of being with yourself? And then that lead to the following finding of the psychologists. They find out that from the early childhood, in the early childhood, if your child in the presence of you, let's say your child is playing and you are doing your house chores. 你的孩子在一边玩你是在做你的家务的啊，你们是共同处在一个空间的。可是如果你的孩子是跟你讲东西，或者是要求你做一些东西，你没有去回应他，或者是没有给他任何反应还是没有满足他他跟你要的东西。然后这就会制造这个孩子其实缺乏一种内在的安全感。They don't have this because of the relationships with the mothers during early childhood. They cannot develop this being at ease with themselves. So this is a very interesting article. It's in Chinese. I would share it out with all of you. Later after these sessions, we always upload the related articles into our Facebook, Rimbayu Playgarden Facebook. You can go and have a read there. It's very interesting read. So we all know right now that being with ourselves is a capabilities where it can be developed during the golden opportunities during the early childhood times. So it's really interesting that now we talk about in depth on the effects on early childhood and reflected on as an adult. How do we have this ability to cope? Now today is very interesting because of course we're going to finish our readings. We need to do a little bit faster because on top of that, I know it's Mother's Day next week, and I want you to love yourself more. So I would like to share a little bit something interesting for you to do it in the comfort of your home, in the abilities, in the preference of yourself. I just share out some idea for you, what you could do. So without further ado, I would like to take on and I would like to first ask anyone after a sleep through yesterday night, is there any insight that you would like to share of how would you celebrate your Mother's Day yourself? So I would welcome your sharings. In the meantime, give it a thought. If you would like to share, please highlight in the chat. I will be very happy to hear from you later on. I shall begin with continue with the articles. Now, these articles talks about 5 ways of healthy way of being with yourself. So we should go through this 5 ways. Learning to be happy with who you are doesn't come overnight. I believe a daily practice is essential to start to shift our mindset. Here are my 5 tips for maintaining a healthy relationship with who you are. Practice being grateful for your body. When we come to the end of our life, will we think about how we should have spent more time in front of the mirror, obsessing about our look or worrying about our weight? No, because the important things in life are the time spent with our family and friend, and being healthy enough to enjoy that. 金钱，这个金钱是金钱呐，可是健康更无价哈。Take a few minutes in front of the mirror each time you get dressed and begin to practice gratitude for your body. Notice the beautiful things about yourself. Research shows that people who actively practice gratitude are healthier, less depressed, and more resilient during tough times. If you can't think of anything at first, stand there each morning until you think of at least one. And I promise that eventually the list of the things you love and appreciate about yourself will grow from there. 我很多年前我也有跟我的家里的小朋友在睡觉之前我们会做一个很简单的就是关上灯了，我们就会做一个交谈。那有时候我就会问他，你今天想要什么样的精灵陪伴你啊？他就会讲，有时他会讲说，我想要风精灵啊，我想要雨精灵啊，因为今天太热啦，我想要有多一点风，所以我想要有风精灵有时候就会想说，他想要快乐精灵什么之类的 So these were the something little things that we have our conversation before bedtimes, after we off the light. And then I will say how may the elementary beings always be with you. 我就会祝福他。然后有时候我们也会 practice 说，你想感谢你的身体哪一个部分？他就会说，哎，我想感谢我的眼睛，因为今天我有的看电视机，很可爱的哈，小朋友就是那么直接。或者有时他会说，哦，我很感谢我的脚，因为我的脚可以跑很快。And I noticed that whenever I ask my child which body parts that you are gratitude for, my child will tell me about the outer limbs and the body parts that he knows. So he will tell me those are the body part that he felt gratitude about. 当然我们大人会不一样， our concepts would be different because we are adult. We will know how to feel gratitude about our inner organs, our soul. Those are more deeper. But it would be very interesting because I started very young with my children of asking them gratitude towards their own body. So you may also practice with your child on this manner and see what do they feel that is important for them. It's very, very interesting to understand them from a perspective. So I shall continue to read the following. Be kind to yourself, taking care of your body, treating yourself to a massage, exercising regularly and becoming mindful of what you eat, and will not only boost your self-confidence, but it is also practice of self-care. The more you treat your body with loving kindness it deserves, the more you will learn to naturally love it over time, and the more it will love you back. You may very well find yourself living with more energy and less pain. 所以，我今天就想到说，要跟你们分享，你们不懂有没有听过facial yoga? Go and do some research about it. Facial yoga and lifting massage. It's very interesting. I will share with you the link so that you can do this at the leisure of your time. Now that you have a lot of time, you cannot tell me you are very busy. You must find time for yourself, no matter how busy you are. So be kind to yourself, be good to yourself, exercise regularly. Why? Sweating it out is important for you. You need to detox. All of us need to detox. Do you know that the amount of the food that you take in, how much is going to release it out? And it does not release out a lot, especially during this movement control time where we are only stationed at home. We don't get to go outdoor and do hikings and runnings and joggings and stuff like that. So you need to do it at home. Okay, do some yoga, do some jumpings and rope jumpings, or simply on the YouTubes and have some twist and dance. You would enjoy it. I shall continue to read on the third one. Let go of your inner perfectionist. Perhaps like I was, you are a perfectionist. Maybe you spent a long time getting ready to leave the house and obsess over tiny detail, putting pressure on yourself to look a certain way. Exhausting, isn't it? Well, I'm here to tell you to stop doing that. Studies show that perfectionism is strongly linked to depression. Save the time you spend telling yourself you are not good enough or trying to hide your imperfections. And instead, learn to accept yourself for who you truly are, even with the parts that you deem to be imperfect. Someone who can learn to accept and love themselves will exude confidence and beauty inside and out, and will attract more positive people and experiences to them. So 不要想到很多事情，我明白很多事情在很多状况之下是可以做得更好的哈，包括我们每一天情绪可以更好，煮东西可以更美味走路可以更有姿态更美妙我们做什么东西都可以去到更好的，可是we don't have to be perfect， 因为每一次做的不对，就是让我们知道原来还有更好的方法，那我们才会一直去学习。So we learn along the way as we make mistakes, or we learn along the way when we didn't do it perfectly. Yeah. So 有时候对自己要求精进是很好但是不要给自己施那个压力不要为了一点点而不开心给你自己多一点笑容，给你自己多一点开心。我常常做蛋糕都不是很成功的，如果要严格来讲我做的蛋糕里面会比较湿如果说一般我们来说他会说这蛋糕是中心不熟the inside was not cooked perfectly, but my family and I just enjoy a moist cake, so we just call it a moist cake 当然那吃了也没有让我肚子痛之类的所以 being imperfect is sometimes it's being generous, being kind to yourself所以你心境